Footsteps in vacuum, a pandemonium ensured in the chaotic streets in uh, Pavitra Path Bazaar as the heavens opened and their blessings poured down in the relentless torrent. People scrambled for cover, deserting the confined cobblestoned streets and tried to maintain their footing on the narrow, slippery, almost non-existent footpath. Toes stepped on toes, hurting and raging, inflaming their honors. Pushes and shoves added to verbal assaults, a swirl of which encompassed the air, turning it intolerant and indignant. Everybody was announced by everybody. It was a permanent state of human affairs in this part of the world. His outlandish, it must, if I were to tell you that amidst this vortex of burning inconvenience, a little sapling of most sacred emotion was germinating, rearing its innocent head and assessing its surroundings. The most impractical and gullible sentiments, yet daring and deadly, pitter-pattered on its sneaky footsteps and made its merry way through the fuming throng, unmindful of its fury or the sharp pains of rain. He ambled through the falling rain in love with the world, happy at its inhabitants, imparting his joy freely. It did not matter to him that nobody paid any attention to him. True happiness did not need it. It did not matter that a passing stranger turned his nose at him, thinking him to be a fool. The test, joy, the truest joy never interfered with others, coping mechanism with one foot in front of another. Simple A to B, because life was too precious for him to be angry at the moody weather. The air around him was alive, high, sparking and dancing. The droplets were joyous to be availing the invaluable's opportunity of clinging to his skin, and sublime benediction. But, Huzoor, I found this block, stalking the streets of PP Bazaar. A good-for-nothing cheap, sir. The Havaldar saluted and pattered forth. The board inspector glanced innocently at the vision before him, and parting the window of feet he had implanted languidly on a table. He scanned the lanky young man brandished in front of him, clean, unruffled, and strangely buoyant. The inspector narrowed his eyes and sat up straight, dropping his feet where they belonged. Oh, oh, sharp Jap! What was he doing? Drugs? No, sir. Eve teasing? I don't think, sir. Hooliganism? I hope not, sir. The inspector grunted impatiently. Then what? Then what, sir? He was a cheating disturbance. How? The Havaldar licked his lips. He was walking strangely, sir, and when I asked where he was going, he smiled and he cleared his throat, but after another embarrassed attempt, went quiet. The inspector's every eyebrow jumped. What? The Havaldar's complexion went scarlet. A myriad of confusing voices squeaked from his throat but vanished before they could brush the air. The inspector banged the table, startling everyone. Tell me. He kissed me, sir. moaned the Havildar helplessly. What? On the cheek, sir? The Havildar uttered hurriedly. He smiled and kissed me on the cheek. The inspector meditated on the young man with renewed interest. He regarded him carefully, wondering about the severity of the danger standing before him. Did you do that, young man? He asked in his most censorious tone. Intense eyes looked back at him, unflinching and deep. Yes, sir. The inspector shifted uncomfortably. Why? The object of his interest turned his eyes to the Havaldar. Speculative. After a beat, he answered, I don't know. You don't know? The boy shook his head. I don't. It was the moment. It was treacherous. Alarm bell sounded in Inspector's head. Were you drunk? Before the boy could answer, he turned to the Havaldar. Was he? Is he? I don't think so, sir. Hmm. Inspector, relax his posture. Sit down, young man. Before the young man in question could comply, the Havaldar, like a good mongrel, took upon himself to see that his master's command was heeded and pushed the young man roughly into the chair. The inspector folded his hands sagely. Look, boy, what's your name? Padam. Okay, Padam, what were you doing in the bazaar? Following her footsteps. The words sent to jolt, though the inspector's bloodstream. Finally, a thing of sense to come out of a bloke's mouth. Just a Romeo, thought the inspectors sardonically. I'm afraid if you cannot allow that young man. The boy raised one eyebrow. The inspector decided he did not like the insolent gesture. He adopted a grave tone. Stalking is a serious offense. I can put you in jail for it. But she wasn't even there. The inspector sighed. A sentimental romantic fool, he mused. First love, feels like it. You ever talk to her? Every minute of every day. Look, boy, you are young. Whole life ahead of you. Don't waste it on girls. Focus on something. How do you mean? Inquired the boy. The inspector puffed his chest. Oh boy, you can become anything you want. You should follow a successful man's footsteps. Take my example. When I was your age, I used to work 12 hours a day. Include school in it too. I worked hard. Boy, never lost sight of my goal. Look where I am today. The boy's eyes had an odd shine in them. What's next then? Next? Now. I look up to our commissioner, his footstep I follow. And after that, there must be somebody else. Examples are abundant, boy. There are role models everywhere for you. The boy nodded. Everybody says it. On TV, in newspaper, follow this, follow that. If you do this, you will be happy, satisfied, complete. The inspector clapped his hands in satisfaction. You got it, boy. Looking at Havildar, he ordered. Escort him outside. He won't trouble anyone no more. Right, boy? The boy assented. No trouble. Flanked by the Havildar, he exited the station. The air was young and gay. Happy to receive him, she followed, winning with his existence, whispering holy secrets in his ears. There are no footsteps in vacuum.
My journey. You can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. Lack of introspection is something that causes you to take wrong decisions when deciding upon a career, Most of us do not think with foresight, and this important decision ends up being taken up in a hurry. With the large number of the options available today, it has become all the more difficult to decide upon the field of your true interest. Following the trend, I took up commerce in high school and ended up my doing bachelor's degree in commerce. Despite being in one of the finest colleges of the city, I could not devote myself completely to the subjects that I had chosen myself. The titles of my textbooks read maintenance of portfolios and bank accounts, while my bookshelf was loaded with romantic novels and autobiographies, such as a mismatch. In those 3 years, I realized that figures, accounts, and tax computations can surely land me with various employment options in the future, but deep inside, I craved for a different kind of fulfillment. Though I managed a respectable score, yet I believe that I could have done better if my heart had chosen this stream. Life is all about choices, isn't it? I did a serious soul searching and decided it is literature I want to study. It was with the trepidation that I started attending classes, for I was sitting with the people who had a fair amount of grounding in literature. But my fears wanted away, for I had kept up my reading. I was anxious that I would lag behind my batchmates due to my commerce background. But the reading that I had kept up throughout my graduation came to my rescue, and soon I picked up pace. A whole new world opened up. I fascinated with the themes, plots, the range of emotions, the whole panoramic sweep. The grandness of it all left me spellbound. The sheer range of subjects and the way they were taught and discussed startled and bewildered me. I was often awestruck during the course of deep, meaningful conversation with the professors. Initially, the thought of having changed my field altogether had frightened me, but in due course, I realized that I have shifted from an unknown space to my true area of interest. Dreams change, dream change, visions change, and ambition becomes career clearer when you do what interests you. How currency works.
Most of the transactions we engage in daily use currency, either in the form of paper bills or credit cards. Money is the livelihood of economies and the world. Civilized societies started using currency because it was better than barter system. Money alleviates the problem in the barter system. It provides a universal store of value and can be readily used by other members of the society. Therefore, transactions can happen at a much faster pace. There are other important benefits of money too. Currencies in the form of paper bills and coins are easy to transport. They also last a long time. Then, types of currency. So, what exactly gives our modern forms of currency, whether it's an American dollar or a Japanese yen value. Unlike early coins made of precious metal, most of what's minted today doesn't have much intrinsic value. However, it retains its worth for one of two reasons. In the case of representative money, each coin or note can be exchanged for a fixed amount of a commodity. The dollar fell into the category in the years following World War II, when the central banks around the world could pay US government $35 for an ounce of gold. However, worries about a potential run American gold supply led President Nixon to cancel this agreement with the countries around the world. By leaving the gold standard, the dollar became what's referred to as fiat money. Today, most of major currencies around the world, including euro, the British pound, and yen, fall into this category. Economy. What is this so-called gig economy phrase increasingly in use? In connection with employment disputes? According to one definition, it is a labor market characterized by prevalence of short-term contracts or freelance work as opposed to permanent job. It is basically working environment that offer flexibility with regard to employment hours. On the contrary, it is form of exploitation with very little workplace protection. In the gig economy, instead of regular wage, workers get paid for gigs they do. In addition, the flexible nature often others benefits to employers as they only pay when the work is available and don't incur staff cost when the demand is not there. Workers in the gig economy are classed as independent contractors, which means they have no protection against unfair dismissal, no right to redundancy payment, and no right to receive national minimum wage, paid holiday, or sickness pay. What promotes gig economy? Main reason is the emergence of digital age. The workforce is highly mobile and work can be done from anywhere, anytime. Second propellant factor for the gig economy is the firm providing short-term contracts will be safe as it avoids long-term obligations like pensions and other emoluments. For the worker, the short-term engagements allow him to search for the best. Thus, such factors contribute humongously to increasing trends for freelancers across the world.